Hey guys, fancy meeting you here. So, I wanted to show you what we have so far for the cover before I get too far along. Sometimes I just get to going and I forget to show. Um, I had these two pieces. They were actually book pages from the kit, and somehow they got left over, probably because they didn't get printed on the back. So we're going to use them. We're going to utilize, use everything, right? So before that, let me show you the cover. So this is the outside, and then this is the inside. So I've decided to carry over some of the outside print to the inside for this background. I think that it'll go really well on each side of this. Now the top, I know you can see that it's not filled in, but we're gonna put ribbon there. I like putting like layered ribbon on. It kind of gives it just a little bit more fun effect, whether you're going vintage or fun, whatever you're going for. I like a layered effect with my ribbon. You can see in some of my Mama Tees on my Etsy page, some of my journals have a double ribbon, and it just looks really cool. So that's what we're going to do with this one. Because this has so many colors in it, we need lots of ribbon. And I wanted to show you, I accidentally made a boo-boo right here, the frame. So this was supposed to be on the edge here. Somehow I just lined it up like that, but I got it right on the back. That's the best thing about crafting, is we can cover up things like this and just create something even cool out of it. So mistakes are fun, don't worry about it. And then again, we're gonna do that double ribbon here on the bottom. And I think for the closure on the last journal that I did for the baby book, I had a chain and I was able to just have a bunch of charms hanging off of it. And I think with having like the dragonflies and flowers and stuff like that, it would be cool to have some of that hanging off. So I want to do that kind of a closure for this one too. I think it would be cute. But I do want to put these on the inside before I get the signatures in there. And I think I've decided that I want them to be, this to be the first one and this one to be the second one. I was going to do it the other way around. So I think that's how I want to get those ones in there. And then before I get them all in there, I'll show you, we'll do a little walkthrough of putting the holes, punching the holes in the signatures. But I wanted to, I use Mod Podge, and I know you saw that in one of the video before for the cover. With larger pieces, it's just easier. The only dislike I have about this is that it dries really fast. So you gotta move it so you can get it on here without having to re-stick certain corners or whatever, and making sure that the center is still nice and wet as you lay it down. So that's just one of the methods I use, because it just is easier to get a bunch of it and lay it down really fast. Sometimes your glue doesn't come out once it gets down to here as fast as you want it to. So there you go. There's some of that. That's where we're at with the cover. I won't move forward with getting these signatures in without you, so that you can see how I do it. I know there's a lot of tutorials. I'm not the only person that you follow, but we'll get to that. I'm going to glue these in and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I have glued this piece down, and so far she's cute over here by herself. And remember, we're going to put some lace and ribbon on the tops and bottoms all the way around the book. So I wanted to show you a little something that I learned through the course of my journey in junk journaling. It's an easy way to get these white edges off of your paper, just to line this up instead of having to take scissors. And this is an easy way to just like that. Nice clean edge. And I like this edge because it gives it kind of a softer edge, like a rip edge, but not like as intense as this. I did this on purpose with one of these. I got these. There's a few of them here. I got them on Amazon. I think I just looked up metal art ruler. I don't remember. I've had these for a long time, but I got them on Amazon, as I do everything else. But that's what makes these different edges. So nice clean finish. We want this. Or you can stick to your scissors. Sometimes when I'm doing this tearing and I come across like a smaller corner that's flat onto the table and I can't quite get it, I'll use a pair of tweezers to like pick up the corner so that I can get to it and tear it. So I keep a pair of tweezers handy for that very reason. Easy peasy, just like that. And we're only going to use a little piece of this as a backdrop for this picture. That's going to be the back of the book, the ending. Okay. I just want to, so this is just a tiny bit bigger, but don't worry, it's fine. It's arts and crafts. We just have to remember that it's arts and crafts. Everything can be fixed, created differently and beautifully. So we don't worry about little things like that. Okay, let's get us a piece here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a big piece. I probably didn't even need it that big, but we're just gonna do it anyways. I could just go like this. Oops, my finger slipped. Voila. So we can put this away now. And we're gonna put that over there. And I got out, I've had this for a long time. So, I try to get them on there just as perfect as possible because I hate when there's a lip laying over. Just gonna do just the tip of the corner and then down the side. Oh, that's so pretty. I like it. I like it. And then just like this. This is gonna go on this side. I really like this color. It's sundress weather. Sundress and floppy hats. Yay! Sundresses, floppy hats, and sandals. Ah, my favorite. Ooh. What do we think? We like that? I like that. You like that? I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down. I'll be right back, and then we're gonna get to measuring this, and I'll show you kind of how I like to put my signatures in. Okay? Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to zoom in a little bit because we are gonna measure the holes for putting our signatures in. So I wanted you to be able to see that up and nice and close. So this is my little pattern. I actually have a couple of these. This one that I really like because it's got the double right here and then the double right here, but I use those for like smaller journals. And sometimes I'll just use them for regular size journals, but we're gonna use this one. So I did some measuring, and so yes, you saw that. This is a 1/2 inch in and this is a 1/2 inch in. So I lined this up. Just like that. And the hole is right here. Here. And there. And then we will do the same over here. So for the signatures, oh, one more thing. So we have 2, 4, 6. We need to decide before we go a little further. We probably should have decided before we put this on, honestly, if we want a tail coming off of our spine, and I think we do. So we need to put a hole right smack in the middle. So this is exactly 2 inches. So right, hold on, I didn't have it lined up correctly. I'll bring it back down that far. Right center. I'm gonna get rid of these because I don't want to get confused. Those are not to be punched. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. We don't need this anymore, I don't think. We'll use this in just a second. So let me show you, if you don't already have a hole puncher, they call this the crocodile. So with this, we're gonna punch those holes. It has settings on here, 1/8, 3/16. Those are the settings for the size of the holes. And let's see. I like to double check, make sure I have my hole puncher in the right setting. It's not even. There we go. Okay, so it punches down there, so I like to make sure that I got the right one. I like to double check that way. So, got it right over the hole. You should get lined up good. We use this one because it can go all the way down the spine. Very important that you line them up because it's this. That's the same. It's going to be the same one that you're going to use for your signature. So you want to make sure that everything is lined up nice and evenly. So that's why I take it like a few extra seconds just to make sure it all looks even. It's worth it. Okay, we have all the holes for this, so we don't need this anymore. I'm going to show you how we do it for our signatures. We don't use that. I don't. Okay, so let's do signature number 1. So for these are the little things that I have. When you buy off Amazon, you get in bulk apparently, or you can anyway. So this goes just like this, and we can do this right now because it's not going to get in the way of anything. And it might be even smart to do it before we get the signatures in there. I'm gonna use my big fingers. There we go. Get in there. I like using this one because it's easy to hang the ribbon off of this hook. So that's why I like using this. So it's gonna go like that, so I might need to clip that off of there. And that's where these come in handy. So I'll just pull this back a little bit. These are wire cutters. There we go. All right. Okay. Here we go. Let's magnet it so it has a magnet in there. Makes cleaning up easy. Okay. So yeah, let's do this. Sorry, I'm going so slow. I was trying to go fast, but sometimes this is how it goes. You run into a situation that you need to take care of right now before you move on. I'm just looking at the ends to see and make sure that this is nice and even. And both ends looks pretty darn even to me. Okay. So I have my needle here, but this is not the thread that we're going to use because this is not enough. But we're going to use this just to poke the holes. So you get in there, push it through. You can, just for, you know, moving's sake, make a mark. So that way you don't lose your place, just in case. Sometimes it happens. There it is. Good job. And then I just kind of wiggle it around. So that when I come back through and sew it, I can just get through there real easy. Okay. Same with this one. There it is. Sometimes it just takes a second. Move it around. There we go. Now I've got 2 out of the 3, and then we're gonna do that one, and then I'll be right back after we get these ones done. Okay, so before we can sew the signatures in, we have to put our eyelets in here, and then again our crocodile is gonna help us with this. So just like that, this is the outside, so you want them facing that way. gonna put the setting back all the way over here. All the way forward. Yeah. Sometimes this can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Okay, so now we want to sew our signatures in now that we've got all that ready. But we got to put these eyelets in first. So you got to put them in this way because this is the spine. This is the part that's going to be seen. And then the other piece goes over here. So all you do is you adjust your settings from your hole punching to your eyelet settings. And you do that by moving this button over here on the side. If you don't have a crocodile, I could be just teaching you something you already know. I'm gonna move this out of the way. We're gonna bring this up in here. Get it lined up. There we go. Turn it a little bit. Put some force on it. But not too much that you know, like cave it in. You don't want to do that. Flip it over. That's as far back as that's going to go back, but it's a nice clean finish. So, we're going to do all the rest of those 5, and then we're going to come back. That's how it's done. And then I'm going to show you how I sew in the signatures. Alrighty, I'll be right back. Okay, now we have all of our eyelets in. The finishes on the back are nice and flush. We're going to sew in signature number 1. And that is not this one. It is this one. Alright, so we're going to go right through the middle. And then right through the middle of that. Right through the frame. Ta-da, see? Just like that. And then you're going to come back down here. To here. And the reason that I use a needle, oh, sorry about that, versus to punch the holes is what I mean, versus like using the eyelets, what we used on the spine, is because I like to try to hide the seam as much as possible, you know, the holes. And I felt like I'm really trying to like not poke this string when I go back through. Which might be unavoidable, but there we go. I try to be careful. Sometimes I am so not. Alright, so we're going back up, and we're gonna go up. Just like that. Having these clips on the top here helps a lot to make sure that your pages stay lined up while you're doing all this. So, tie it off. Sometimes this is the hard part when you're trying to tie these knots without letting it slip too much. I have not mastered this part. Alrighty. I doubled this string because this string seemed thinner than the other string, and I just wanted to just make sure it wasn't going to break when we were using it to sew it in. So there's signature number 1. Ta-da! She's in and she's ready to be decorated. Now we're going to sew in signature number 2. We're going to use this yarn. Again, we're going to go in through here, back in through here, back out through here, in through here, and then tie it up. I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gents, we have our signatures. They're sewn in. Ta-da! Look at that. There they are. They're in the book. Look at that. All right. I don't know. I mean, we could change it now, but I think we'll leave it. We'll figure out some way to make it blend, because there's a little bit of it in the background, but not too much. I don't know. But it goes more with, you know, the signature that's in here and the colors. So I kept it. So, yay. There you have her. Nice fresh spine. Gotta move it around a little bit. Be gentle though. You don't want to rip your paper. Alright. I will see you in the next video.